Everything is so fucking gay. I'm sick of complaining. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm an eternal optimist. I'm a pretty happy person, or at least I was. And I know a lot of people feel the same way. I hear it. A lot of people waking up. I'm just sick of complaining. And it's like, well, don't complain, do something about it. Hmm. Yes and no. Excuse me. The courts are corrupt. The police are obviously corrupt. Nobody's actually doing anything to hold those in a position of power accountable. But I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know in that regard. It's just sad, man. It's really sad that, everyone can observe what's going on. Like, everybody can look up and see the chemtrails. Everyone can look up and see that they have patents for the weather modification going back to, I don't know, 70s, earlier, I don't know, 50s. They come out and tell us right on, like, mainstream TV that they're cloud seeding. The investments into smart dust and nanotechnology, covered that in one of the recent videos. Smart dust goes back to the 70s or 80s. So why can't we... Oh, before we go to that question, the question's going to be, why can't we all come together to have a conversation about this? But if there's any merit to, like, the EMP, right? Electric magnetic pulse. And I've been talking about the electromagnetic frequency weapons. You are electric. That's why humans are the key node on the network. What network? What network? What fucking network? Right? And so they've hooked us all up to the internet or the cloud or whatever underneath our skin, because that's what they've been spending all of our tax dollars on, and private investment funds and faking gay education and shitty fucking jobs and healthcare. They've just been experimenting on the human body so they could perfect their no-touch, non-invasive cancer solutions for you in 24 to 48 hours. If you believe that. But I think, not to be like, not to be gloom and doom and like, oh, they're definitely going to do this, right? Because all we have to go off of is the Georgia Guidestones and the technology and, I don't know, a few hundred years of repeated patterns where they fucking hate humanity and try to control us. But again, I'm not saying this is definitely going to happen. What I am saying is that this is definitely possible. Like, this is definitely within the constraints, the limitations or the possibilities. Like, it's just so easy to do should one be so inclined, right? So let's just look at what we know. We know for sure that human beings are electric. Boogie woogie. You have an electric field running through you at all times. And that's true for all of us. So that's a fact. Human beings are electric. They have electromagnetic frequency weapons that can target an individual's frequency. That's a fucking fact. You can look up all that technology as much as you want to. So, if they've been investing billions and billions and billions of dollars into smart dust nanotechnology to interact with our biology, right? And we know that they have. It's not up for debate. It's not a fucking conspiracy. You are just ignorant at this point. You can look up Healthcare 4.0. You can look at nanotech investments. I just did a video on the smart dust nanotechnology, so suck it. It's not my fault. You're stupid. So we know that the human body is electric. We know that they have electromagnetic frequency weapons that can target people or towns, large areas. So instead of maybe the EMP is just flicking the switch, right? And they essentially electrocute however many people they want. I don't know how the technology works specifically in terms of the range that they might have, but it seems plausible that if somebody really wanted to, because they have fake and gay cell towers, which are apparently Gwen towers, and I forget what that stands for, but it's an acronym. Every few hundred feet, it would seem plausible that they have the technology to flip a switch and just get rid of as much humanity as they want. And under the right circumstances and propaganda, you could probably call that an act of God, because who's going to know the difference? I mean, let's be honest. I'm sitting here telling you guys about EMF weapons and, I don't know, smart dust nanotechnology and biosurveillance, biodigital convergence, and whatever else. And you guys, you can't hear it. You can't have a conversation. You can't even process it. So what do you think is going to happen if they flip a switch, kill half the population, and then tell you that, it's just COVID-2, just an act of God. There's this really bad virus, just took everybody out, and you're a fucking moron. You're not going to know the difference. And you'll be happy because you have Netflix, and now you have UBI. So you don't have to work anymore. You just sit at home. They'll tell you, what's important in your life. You don't have to work anymore. And you could fucking, do whatever you do that keeps you retarded. Like, I don't know. And so, how does humanity, not go in that direction? Like, universal basic income, permanently on all fours for Big Brother, so they can just keep fucking getting it in there. I don't see how humanity avoids a solution like that, where we are completely controlled under the skin forever. Because nobody's even able to have dialogue about what they're doing. We can't even have a conversation about what they're doing. Think about that. We can't even talk about it. There are groups of people, or there are individuals, like non-vaxxer 420, 7 C's live seems like he's snapping out of it a little bit, right? And I can think of maybe 1 or 2 people in my life, maybe, that I can have a conversation with in detail about what's going on. So if nobody's concerned about the last 7 failed Pentagon audits amassing trillions and trillions of dollars of your money, if you're not concerned where the money went to that you fucking work for every day, you spend all your time working for this fake and gay money, right? And they take a huge percentage of it because you're a good slave and you pay taxes, but you don't care where that money's going to. So you don't care what they do to you or your kids either. Don't lie. So I don't know how humanity is gonna fucking avoid this. They're already doing what they're doing. And that's a problem. It's been a problem for a long time, but the fact that we're not logical or cognizant or fucking with it enough to even address it and have a real conversation and say, hey, this is wrong. I don't want you to augment me under my skin. I don't want you to fucking make me into a machine. I don't want you to read my thoughts. I don't want you to have a predictive crime unit because your algorithms and your data, your big data sets, say that I'm a problem, right? Of course I'm a problem. I don't agree with your fucking agenda. I don't agree with anything that you're doing. I think you're all a bunch of rapists and pedophiles. That's what I think. So, how does humanity unfuck itself? And that's exactly what I'm saying is like, I would have thought in 2019 that was a big enough wake-up call because I was already awake. I've been targeted since 2015. Anybody who knows me has probably thought that I was crazy and a nutter since 2015. So by the time 2019, 2020 happened, I was like, oh, now everybody's going to fucking understand that shit's corrupt. And I guess, you got the trickle effect. Like, there are enough people now today who can look at the government and say, wow, that's not right. Maybe they don't have our best interests in mind, But we're not obviously there yet to the point where everyone knows, or everyone's awake, or everyone is pissed off enough to say, no, we don't want this. And I think that speaks to the efficiency of the technology, the brainwashing, the propaganda, everything that comes through the TV and the radio and everything else. It just shows how scientific they are in their approach in terms of controlling the mind. Because when someone can blindly follow a pedophile organization that has a proven track record of invading like every country and genociding fucking everyone, and you're just like, oh, hey, yes, the government, those people in charge are really good. If you can't like even recognize what's been going on, we can't have a conversation about it. It was a zombie Twilight Zone environment 5 or 6 years ago. And now it's just kind of like it just doesn't seem real, right? This doesn't seem real. Why doesn't it seem real? Because, like, maybe because we've been lied to our whole lives, right? We had this guise of governments, and come to find out, well, there's really maybe 13 families that control all the world's resources, and, well, they poison the air and the food and they put a lot of fluoride in the water, so you say stupid. It's just, and then but to have all these things come to light and then have no accountability, which I think is part of the awakening process, because why on earth would the pedophiles hold themselves accountable? They wouldn't. That's another thing. Anyone who wants to lie to my face and tell me that police are good, you can get fucked. Because if there were any good police officers, they would expose the bad ones. So silence, omitting the truth because you want to collect a paycheck, or because you swore an oath to Israel or the Freemasons or whoever the fuck, or you're just a pussy, that doesn't make you a good cop. That makes you a piece of shit. So, and that's another thing too, is like, Are literally all the fucking law enforcement corrupt? It absolutely seems like an unequivocal yes. Like it can't be any other way. Because if there were actually any good law enforcement, all of Jelane's and Jeffries and Diddy's and all those fucking people, all those CEOs, all those politicians, and yes, I'm sure there are some in law enforcement, right? They all would have been held accountable if there were any good police or Leos. That we would have accountability, but we don't. We have the opposite of accountability. We have the FBI covering up electromagnetic frequency weapons in Lockheed Martin and all the terrible shit that's been going on to humanity. That's what we have. We have a pedophile FBI organization that's covering for Diddy Steen's client list. So, and, you know, that's another thing. If their intent is to destroy the fake and gay system that they built, that's logical to me. Because if they don't have a system, you know, or at least a fake system of laws, then they can't be held accountable for their crimes either. Right? If all the courts go away and all the fake and gay police go away and everything just goes away, we don't know who these people are by name, you know? That being said, Rob McGuckin and Rand Blazer from Apex Systems should be investigated for organized stalking, gang stalking, illegally tracking employees, electromagnetic frequency weapons, and their entire client list, starting with Lockheed Martin, probably Disney and Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Google, Facebook, you know, Pfizer, all the banks, all of Apex Systems / On Assignment. On Assignment acquired Apex Systems in 2012, I believe. But all of Apex Systems clients should be investigated. Like I said, starting with Lockheed Martin for EMF weapons. Apex Systems is one of the largest IT staffing companies in the United States. My former employer. And I was working for then VP Rob McGuckin. Rand Blazer came from KPMG. They're about as credible as Enron, is what I hear. So yeah. What else? What else can we talk about? I hate complaining all the time. I haven't even started on my personal shit. I mean, in other videos I have, but not this one. That's the chemtrails. Homegrown. Fucking spray that shit with chemtrails 24/7. That's why I'm hacking up a lung when I smoke it. Because some fake and gay scientists with a micro penis thought it would be a good idea to mess with human biology at the organic level, at the cellular level. They thought it'd be a good idea to put some chemicals in there to, I don't know, fucking cure cancer. Is that what they're doing? They're curing cancer for us? Or are they tracking every single one of our thoughts, locations, feelings, right? Are we having a, you know, that's interesting too, is they can probably sense if we are having a real or a fake reaction to something, right? And that's shitty because, like, as you know, human to human, like, we can just intuitively tell, you know, this feels right or this feels wrong. Those are, you know, God-given abilities. You know, so when you have someone or something hacking into your central nervous system and they have the ability to determine, like, what you're thinking, what you're saying, is that real, is that fake, and they have the ability to induce fake symptoms. You know, this, you can research this, you can look all this stuff up. They can make you fart, shit, sneeze in your pants, or whatever, you know. They can make it seem like you are experiencing symptoms for whatever. You go to the doctor, you think you're sick, you might even start a like a program to get yourself better. I'm sure there's a word for that, like a recovery plan or something with meds and whatever else, but it's all predicated upon artificial symptoms that were created remotely because they have the capability to do so, and they fuck with people like that. I don't know, maybe that's a good spot to end the video. Shout out to all the feds who are watching. Thank you. I'm sure you are comprised of like 99% of my viewer base. So to all the faggot FBI who are watching, you should be investigating Lockheed Martin and Rob McGuckin and Ram Blazer and all of Apex Systems clients instead of watching my videos. But thanks for the support. I look forward to not reading any comments or seeing any likes. And if anyone subscribes to this channel, you're fucking suspect.